The history of the Transformers is a saga of divine creation, ideological conflict, and catastrophic war. Cybertron was not always a war-torn wasteland. It was once a thriving world guided by the godlike 13 Primes, who were meant to lead their people into an eternal golden age. Instead, their era ended in betrayal, corruption, and destruction, marking the first great war in Cybertronian history. To truly understand the Transformers' endless conflict, we must go to the very beginning, the creation of Cybertron, the birth of the 13 Primes, and the cataclysmic events that led to their downfall. This is the story of how Cybertron was doomed before the Autobots and Decepticons ever existed. The War of the Gods, Primus vs Unicron. Before time began, the universe was shaped by two opposing cosmic entities, Primus, the god of light and order, and Unicron, the god of chaos and destruction. These two beings were locked in an eternal struggle, their battles shaking the fabric of reality itself. Unicron, the chaos bringer. Unicron is a force beyond comprehension. Unlike Primus, who seeks to create and nurture, Unicron exists only to consume and annihilate. He is not merely an evil entity, he is destruction incarnate, an eldritch force of entropy that devours entire planets to fuel his endless hunger. Unicron is unique among cosmic beings because he lacks a true homeworld. While Primus became Cybertron, Unicron exists as a vast, planet-sized mechanical entity that drifts through space, consuming anything in his path. But Unicron's hunger is more than physical, it is existential. He does not simply destroy civilizations, he erases them from history, ensuring that nothing can ever rise from their ashes. Primus, the creator of Cybertron. In contrast, Primus is the embodiment of creation and balance. He does not seek to destroy Unicron outright, as such an act would likely destroy the fabric of reality itself. Instead, Primus devised a plan to counter Unicron's influence, not with brute force, but with civilization. To achieve this, Primus transformed himself into Cybertron, a world of unimaginable technological wonder. Unlike the organic planets Unicron consumed, Cybertron was built to be a stronghold of light and order, capable of resisting chaos itself. But Primus knew that even this was not enough. Cybertron needed protectors, beings capable of ensuring its survival against Unicron's inevitable return. Thus, from his own essence, Primus created the 13 Primes, Cybertron's first rulers, warriors, and guardians. The 13 Primes, Cybertron's first dynasty. The 13 Primes were not ordinary Cybertronians. They were divine beings, each representing a different aspect of Cybertronian civilization. Together, they formed a pantheon, meant to lead Cybertron into an age of eternal peace. Each Prime was given a special artifact by Primus, imbuing them with immense power. 1. Prima, the first Prime, a warrior of pure light. He wielded the legendary Star Saber, a blade forged from Primus's own energy. 2. Vector Prime, the guardian of time and space, possessing the blades of time and the ability to manipulate reality. 3. Alpha Trion, the keeper of wisdom, charged with recording Cybertron's history. He carried the quill, which could rewrite destiny itself. 4. Solus Prime, the forger of weapons and artifacts. She created the Forge of Solus, capable of crafting anything from raw energy. 5. Megatronus Prime, the smallest Prime, representing unity. He wielded the Chimera Stone, which could merge abilities. 6. Nexus Prime, the first combiner, able to split into multiple beings or merge Cybertronians into a single entity. 7. Amalgamus Prime, the most unpredictable Prime, able to shapeshift at will using the transformation cog. 8. Onyx Prime, the master of beasts, who could communicate with Cybertron's animal-like inhabitants. He carried the triptych mask, which granted insight into the past, present, and future. 9. Quintus Prime, the creator of new life, possessing the Ember Stone, which could birth new Cybertronian species. 10. Liege Maximo, the Prime of Deception, a master manipulator who carried the Legion Dagger. 11. Megatronus, the Fallen, the Warrior Prime, a harbinger of war. He wielded the Requiem Blaster, the most destructive weapon ever created. 12. Alchemist Prime, a philosopher who sought balance between science and magic, carrying the lenses of clarity. 13. The 13th Prime, the last Prime, whose name was lost to time. He was reincarnated in Optimus Prime, carrying the matrix of leadership. For millennia, the 13 ruled Cybertron in harmony. They built vast cities, created the colony worlds, and expanded Cybertronian influence across the stars. But peace was an illusion, one of their own was destined to betray them. The fall of Megatronus, Cybertron's first great war. Among the 13, Megatronus Prime was the most dangerous. He was not evil by nature, he was a warrior, forged for battle. But his belief in strength above all else made him an easy target for Unicron's whispers. Unicron spoke to Megatronus in visions, promising him power beyond anything the other primes could imagine. He told him that the 13 were weak, that their rule was stagnant, and that only through war could Cybertron achieve its true potential. Megatronus, now calling himself the Fallen, turned against his brothers and sisters. He manipulated Liege Maximo, the Prime of Deception, into aiding him, and together they orchestrated a coup. The war that followed was unlike anything Cybertron had ever seen. The betrayal of Solus Prime. One of the greatest tragedies of this war was the death of Solus Prime. She was the heart of the 13, the one who forged their weapons and ensured their unity. Megatronus, once her closest ally, used her own creation, the Requiem Blaster, to kill her in a moment of rage. Her death shattered the 13, and the war escalated to catastrophic levels. The final battle, the banishment of the Fallen. Realizing that the Fallen had become too powerful, the remaining primes made a desperate choice. They sacrificed themselves to seal him and Unicron in another dimension. This act saved Cybertron, but at a terrible cost, the 13 were no more. Only one Prime survived, and his name was lost to history until he was reborn as Optimus Prime. The aftermath, the rise of Autobots and Decepticons. With the 13 gone, Cybertron was left in chaos. New factions rose to fill the power vacuum. The Autobots, who sought to preserve the ideals of the 13. The Decepticons, led by Megatron, who unknowingly followed the path of the Fallen. This ideological war destroyed Cybertron, forcing the Transformers to flee their home. Their battle continued on Earth, repeating the cycle that began eons ago. Conclusion: the cycle of war. The fall of the 13 primes was the first great tragedy of Cybertron, a divine civilization torn apart by ambition and betrayal. The Autobots and Decepticons are merely echoes of this ancient war, continuing the conflict their ancestors began. The question remains, can the cycle be broken, or is Cybertron doomed to repeat its past forever? Do you believe the Transformers war will ever truly end? Is Optimus Prime's leadership enough to break the cycle, or is Cybertron destined to fall again? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the origins of Cybertron and the 13 primes, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to African Reads Comics for more in-depth explorations of your favorite comic book universes. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. See you in the next one, and remember, till all are one.